have heard me say in many of my videos that deciding to move abroad takes work. But one of the most difficult things that could be difficult is create community in your new environment. Yes, you need folks in your life when you move abroad, and you have to do it fast. Let's talk about it. Hey, friend. As we age, experts are now saying that isolation could be a major risk factor for disease and disability. Now, growing old carries in itself a boatload of challenges, physical, a lot of social difficulties, death, financial restraints, constraints. And then you decide to move abroad, put yourself in a brand new environment. So the challenges escalate. So the one thing we don't want you or me to do is isolate ourselves, because that would even compound the problem. Why do I want to talk about creating community today? Because I know how important it is. As a medical person, I dealt with that a lot in my practice, where people got into a situation and then there was no one to provide some assistance. So when I decided to come to Panama to create how I was going to age, I was aware of the importance of creating community, of having people in my life. And that's why I created SWRA. I wanted sisters to come around me because I don't have family here. You don't have family here, probably. So how do we create community, and why is it so vital? That's what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to give you some tips on what you might consider doing, how I did it, how I created community. Before we go any further, my name is Maggie. I am a retired nurse practitioner, and I have been retired here in the beautiful country of Panama since 2023, and still having a fabulous time. It's amazing how many sisters would say. Yesterday, a sister posted something on Facebook, and all the other sisters who chimed in saying, oh, yes, I can feel comfortable in my own skin and all that. And they're living their best life. And it can happen for you. But I think, well, let me go back to continue my introduction. So I've been here a couple of years and I'm loving it. I am also the creator of SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad, a group of sassy older ladies who have decided to make Panama their home, live their best life, create community while we reinvent ourselves. If any of this sounds of interest to you, if you're an older sister, an older woman, because you are my audience, who is interested in relocating to Panama, I have lots of videos to help you. And when you get here, we are here to support you. Your sisters are here. By watching this video, by watching my videos, you're already way ahead of the game, because there is a ready-made community here waiting to embrace you. All you have to do is reach out. And this is where the problem sometimes comes in. Some of us are not comfortable in the reaching out part, and I'm going to try to help you with that. Okay? So if any of this sounds of interest to you, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Like Sandra said, click all the little buttons on the bottom. And especially that the bell, because it will tell you when I have a new video coming out or when I go live, which is every Sunday. I do a cooking video where we chat and you can ask me questions. Some other creators are having just their lives to answer questions, and that is great. But I thought the ability for me to merge my love of cooking with chatting with you, I feel blessed. So join us on Sunday at 10 o'clock my time here in Panama, and we have a fabulous time while we learn how to cook. Yummy food. All right. So why do we need community? And again, I think it's probably a little bit harder for the person who is an introvert, who is into themselves, who loves their own company. I just love being by myself. I'm never bored being here alone. And if I've been in the house for 2 or 3 days and I make myself go out, right? You need humans in your life, but not all the time. So it is something that we have to constantly keep in front of us to say, Maggie, you need to go to some of these meetings. Maggie, you know what I'm saying? You got to reach out. You cannot become a hermit in a new country. And I was saying, first of all, we need community because as human beings, we are social being. The way the Lord created us, he created Adam, then he created Eve, right? Okay, we're not gonna go in there. But you need some people around you, whether you're married or divorced or single, it doesn't matter. And as I said in the intro, as we age, we lose a spouse, for example, you lose children, and then your friends start to drop off. And I've had people in their 80s saying, yeah, we were like so many, and now there are only two of us left. Think about what that does to your psyche, to know that you're on your way, you just don't know when. So that constant sense of, I don't want to say impending doom, but just the inevitable coming can get you to a point where you kind of retreat into yourself. And also when you lose your companion, your partner of decades, there is also the danger of going inward, of isolating yourself. Other reason that could cause people to isolate is the development of disease and disability. If you live with chronic pain, you're at a higher risk for depression. Depression makes you want to put the covers over your head and just stay in the bed all the time. And with that comes a cascade of other issues. When people start feeling like, it's really hard for me to get around, I have to use a walker, or I'm taking medication, I'm always needing to go to the bathroom. You just don't want to inconvenience people or yourself. So you stay in the house because the bathroom is right there, right? And you feel safe in your own little cocoon. And it's good. You do. But why do you need community? So you don't isolate, so you can have human interactions, so you can share ideas. This brain that people worry about so much because, the fear of losing the ability to think and to rationalize and to be, like you used to be, being able to take care of yourself in business. I feel it's the number one fear. It's not so much that I can't walk or I have pain, but if this goes, you feel like there's nothing left for you to live for, right? But being with people, believe it or not, is very important in keeping you mentally agile, keeping you mentally engaged. So isolation is deadly. It can be deadly. And because the mind is such a powerful, or the brain is such a powerful organ, it affects everything else in your body, right? If you're in a constant or chronic state of depression, of just staying like this, you're going to start having some weird symptoms that we don't know where they're coming from. There's aches and pain in places you didn't have. We call those psychosomatic symptoms because you can pinpoint what's causing it, right? But because you are into yourself, your brain is not stimulated. And being with people does that. The energy you share and you stimulate your brain when you're playing cards with the ladies, right? When you're watching a movie or you're interacting, everything is moving. Inactivity is deadly, whether it's physical or mental. All right? So hopefully I've made the case for you to understand that you need community. But when you come to a new place, you've done your homework, you've consulted with me or others, you get your ducks in a row. Someone's picking you from the airport, you're talking to the realtor, you get your visa situated, you get your apartment, you got your utilities, you get your cell phone, and it's a mad rush to get all that done. So that takes you a few weeks. So now you are settled in your apartment. Now, hopefully you've come on some scouting trips and you've visited your neighborhoods and you've chosen this particular neighborhood because you fell in love with it and you like the walkability or whatever. But, there is also what we call the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase, and I have told you, when you first come, I want you to rest. Don't worry about hurrying up and getting, take your 3 weeks with your Airbnbs and just sleep. And I spoke to his sister this week. She said when she first came, wherever she went, she slept for 10 days. I had another sister say she slept for a month. We all are exhausted mentally, physically, and we need regenerative sleep so things in our brain can stabilize again because everything has been in a free fall. So I want you to sleep, okay? Don't worry. Don't rush to doing. Got your to-do list if you're a type A, all right? But let's say you did all that and then you settled in your home. Again, I'm hoping you've done the work that I've explained to you in some of my other videos, that you've reached out to at least 2 or 3 people on the ground. People reach out to me all the time. I have a sister they talk to me. I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and I am happy to share. You want to have me or somebody else, our contact, so that if you have a problem, you can reach out to someone. That's the beginning of your journey of building community. All right? So you need to have people. What you do, you have your attorney, you have your realtor, that's 2. You got me, that's 3. You have got onto people's, the different Facebook groups. And hopefully when you came on your scouting trips, you've connected with 1 or 2 sisters. This is the thing that might be difficult for the introvert, to just reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm in town. How about can we have coffee? And a lot of people are comfortable doing that. But I'm talking to you, the introvert who likes to just don't want to ask for help, feels uncomfortable. You got to lose that, sis, because you're in a new country. You're in a new place. And you need people who know to guide you. It's important. Okay? So some steps I'm going to go over in terms of building community with you. I think it's important for you. Now, you want to create community here, but you don't want to sever the cord of the cord of the community that you left at home. My last video talked about what do you do when they're mad at you for leaving. Hopefully you've worked through that. And then if you have some who just won't let it go, are still pissed that you're leaving, sis, you have to move on. You have to keep it moving, right? But I know you have a few people that you are still close to, and some are happy for you. Some are like not sure, they're on the fence, but they love you. You want to make sure you're nurturing those relationships because, ladies, we are here in beautiful Panama. We know how crazy things are back home. We don't know what the ramifications might be for us. So we don't want to burn bridges. We want to make sure that we're still talking to our families and friends when you go back to visit, to make you and them feel better as part of your transition. So nurture those relationships. Don't sever the cord. I think it's a travesty that if you were to move abroad as an older person, and then you don't have anybody else back at home that you can chat with, have a FaceTime with. You still need those folks, okay? You need those folks. So now, you're taking care of those at home. Now this is where the work begins, trying to create community here on the ground. Now, I have to tell you, I've only been here about 2.5 years, and I hear and meet different people who've been here. There's a sister in our group who's been here 7 years. So I ask her a question because she's been here before me. She knows more about this place than I do. And I was talking to a sister yesterday, and I'm like, I think it's funny that I see people who've been here 2 or 3 months, and then they're talking like they're the experts. I'm like, I'm still learning, right? So be humble. We don't know it all. We reach out to those who've been here before us. There's a lady who says she's been here 17 years. You bet you I'm going to ask you some questions, right? But they themselves will tell you that there are a lot of us coming over. You know what? That reminds me, this friend of mine, I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to reach out, right? So if you are talking to someone and all of a sudden the water turns cold, I'm going to reach out and say, hey, everything okay? Because, we are older, we are seasoned, right? We can't get caught up in the little cliques and the attitude. If somebody has something that they're upset about that they think I did, trust me, I'm going to reach out and say, are you okay? Did I do anything to upset you? Because I always told you, if I did, and you say, well, yeah, I didn't like the way, but it's like, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I'll be the first one to apologize. We do not have time to be nitpicky, and we don't have time for those kind of things. Okay? So now you are going to reach out and try to establish your tribe. So make sure in your WhatsApp group, well, not group, database, I should say, that everybody you meet, you take their WhatsApp and you talk to them and you get their numbers, okay? And some people have a hard time knowing, they have to put their name and the address. You could do the QR code thing. You go on your phone, whether on an Android or on your iPhone, you open WhatsApp and then you find settings. On the iPhone, it's at the bottom. On the Android, it's in the top right. Settings, and then you're going to see your QR code. My QR code on the iPhone is up here, but as long as you find a QR code. And then you take it, and then that's it. Oops. I don't think that you can see. Oh, there it is, right? And then you either scan their QR code and they scan yours. Get all the contacts that you can and put something in the name to help you identify them. Met at cafe, whatever, right? You need to get the phone number for your PH, the front desk, so that if you have a problem inside the apartment, that you know who to call. Make sure you have the contact for your landlord, the contact information, your realtor. See how you're building community? Okay. And also, you followed my advice that before you got here, you got on those Facebook group and you started interacting with people even before you get here. All right? Now, you can gather all this information. That doesn't mean you're going to interact with every single one, right? So a lot of the Facebook group will have meetups. When you first get here, you want to make yourself go to those. I remember the first one I attended, it was a women's group here in town. And I mean, I was fresh off the boat, okay? And it was at one of those rooftops, got to the Uber and got there. And there was one person I had connected with even before I landed. So I was trying to make a beeline for her, right? But the energy in that particular gathering wasn't that great. The person who was in charge, I kind of was trying to find her, to shake her hand, and it was very standoffish. I'm trying to tell you this, that yes, you need to make yourself go. And that's how you're going to assess the, I say temperature, but the vibe, right? So it was like a lot of drinking, I want margarita and wine. I mean, great. I can handle 1 cup of white wine. That's my limit. Otherwise, I go off. It doesn't, can't do alcohol. But I was trying to make meaningful contacts, and it didn't happen in that first gathering. But I did not let that deter me. I went on to another group's gathering. And then this is what you do when you first get here. You go to these events, you test the vibe. If they vibe with you, then you make yourself go and introduce yourself to people. When I was in business, we used to do networking events, and I was with the Chamber of Commerce, and they told you had 30 seconds to make an impression and to tell someone what you do. So it's like, hey, my name is Maggie. I just got here from Florida and I'm retired. I'm so glad to be here. What's your name? How long have you been here? Do you like it? What do you like about it? Do you have some favorite spots? Right? So based on your interest, some people want to know about churches. Some people want to know about hair. Well, you're not going to get all that in one meeting, right? Somebody could say, oh, yes, I have a wonderful nail person. Well, do you mind sharing the contact? You building your portfolio, you're building your contact that way. One thing I do not enjoy is going to social events where it's just people are talking about nothing. It's like, to me, it's just a waste of my time. And I'm thinking, I could be doing that. But I understand the value of doing that when you first get here. Right? So if the vibe is not your vibe, you don't have to go back. You go to the next event. And let me tell you, this little place here, you have to be careful about not to go because there is so much going on. Every single Facebook page, group, if you go under event calendar, you go in to see what's going on. They have another women's group in their chat room that you have to be referred to. They have their event posted. I started doing an event calendar. I haven't been real good about posting in there, but I want you to know that if you join groups, WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, you're going to be inundated with places to go and things to do. So you want to nurture, first of all, you want to gather the information and you want to nurture those relationships. Now, if you go to an event and you find someone that you're vibing with, you exchange contact information, or she lives in your building, or she doesn't live too far, and it doesn't matter. This city is not that big that you don't have to say, oh, she lives on the other side of it. It's not that far. Everybody is within 15, 20 minutes of each other, seriously, okay? So if you vibe with that sister, after a week or so, or maybe the next day, usually I like to do that. Oh, it was so nice meeting you yesterday. Let's keep in touch, right? Because if you remember when you were taught, I hope, like if somebody does something nice for you, you send a thank you card. When we used to send thank you card, or you can send an email. Now it's a text. Hey, it was so nice meeting you last night. Let's keep in touch. After about a week, oh, look at that. After about a week, right? You could say, are you up to having a cup of coffee if you're into coffee, right? And then you might say, I'd like to find out some of your favorite founders. Where do you eat? Do you mind taking me with you next time you go? If they have things going on Casco Viejo and you're into the old ruins and old city and you're like, just let me know whatever is happening. Just take me along. I mean, it's not begging, but this is how you discover places, right? And then it helps to get you to get a vibe for your new home. and do that with multiple people, not just, don't just stick to one person and just kind of suck the life out of them. You don't want to do that because they're going to drop you like a hot potato. Okay. So nurture the relationship, follow up, keep in contact. Well, she didn't contact me. I'm not going to contact her. You're the one who needs this. You're the one needing to build community. I remember one time this sister said, well, I'm going to the beach. Anybody wants to come with me? Yeah, I'm not a beach person, but I want to be with other people. And plus, I want to see my new home. I want to see the different parts of it. So tag along and go and discover. Okay? Begin early. Begin early, meaning you started back at home, joining Facebook groups, asking questions, reading all, the conversation is what I enjoy the most. When somebody asks a question, I just like to see the responses because you learn a lot. They give information. They'll say, oh, check that. And then I'm writing it. That's how I started. Okay? Begin early. In doing your scouting trips, you also want to be sure that you're getting as much information as you can. When I came, I had a notebook, and then whenever I met somebody, I didn't have enough time to maybe put it in here. If I go to a meeting, I use my phone, but I also had, and I have notes in my iPhone where I'm writing information. Yeah, because the brain is a little bit slow, so I'm not trying to remember things. I'm writing it down. All right? On your scouting trips. So the other thing too is that developing community requires intent and effort. Don't wait for people to reach out to you. You do the reaching out. First of all, when you first coming to Panama, in addition to your realtor, your immigration attorney, you got me, you got SWRA. My number is on my Facebook page. It is also on the YouTube channel. So you can reach out. If you don't reach out, that is on you. The one thing that would be a problem, I have people coming on scouting trips. And well, I don't even call them scouting trips because they're more likely like they're on vacation because it's like they want to see everything that needs to be seen in Panama in a week. You can't see all of Panama in a week, sis. Okay? A scouting trip is a trip with a purpose. You're trying to find out walkability, stores. Where do I find stuff? What about electricity? What about the internet? What about what is it again? Leisure, right? You asking those questions, but you are an Inspector Gadget and you want to get the information. Once you get here, you can schedule short trips outside of your own area and you can learn and discover the country. But that's not what a scouting trip is for. So these people come for 7 days and they have like 1 to 2 events per day. And then they'll say, oh, we're going to be coming out of the Panama Canal tour at about 4 o'clock. Can you meet us for dinner? Well, I have a calendar too. And most of the time I can't because I have stuff scheduled. Okay? So make sure you all also understanding of somebody else's time, right? Okay. So we talked about the WhatsApp, the information gathering. I think it's very important to find your tribe, the people that you can vibe with. Okay, I'll take myself as an example. When I first came, I went to those rooftop, can't even speak, rooftop bars, maybe 1 or 2. But after the first 2, I was bored. I don't drink alcohol. I don't revel in being someplace where there is a lot of noise. And I'm not a dancer. People, they had salsa dancing, you're not gonna find me. I didn't even go to one of those. Salsa dance here by myself, okay? But I'm not gonna be in there taking lesson. I'm not that kind of person. Okay, I like quiet gatherings And even if it's something that is supposed to entertain me, I like quiet entertainment. So you're not going to find me in those dark, smoke-filled places where they have stuff going on. That's just not me. And it is not a critique of anybody who likes to go listen to poetry and some people like live music. I'm not that interested. And then we have to get to a point where we're not criticizing someone for not having the same taste as you. Remember, even though I'm trying to build my tribe, but I'm my own person. I move at my own pace. I have the things that I enjoy. Well, if there is, like I was telling this friend the other day, I'm like, if there is a great orchestra coming and doing some kind of classical presentation, sign me up. If there is an art festival, sign me up. They have a Pollera festival, sign me up. And of course, I like everything that is free. If it's in the community, Casco Viejo doing something, I am there. But after the two rooftop, I haven't been to another rooftop then. And they're like Samak or whatever that place is. I don't think I've been there because that is not my vibe. So you have to know and stay true to yourself. Even though you're trying to create community, you don't have to go to everything all the time. Just go the first time, test the waters, and see if there is something that you connect with. I went to Internation stuff a couple of times, and then it's like, it's not my vibe. I don't go, even though I had bought, a membership. Well, it expired. It's not my vibe. I'm not going to compromise and go to places, do things I don't enjoy just because I want to hang out. There is enough going around in Panama City, which is where I am, so that I don't have to compromise and feel like I have to go. I have to protect myself sometimes because it's like, that's going on, that's going on, that's going on. And I get to pick and choose because as an introvert, I want those veggie days where I'm in my pajamas and I do nothing. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do, but I want to have my sisters, I want to have my contacts so that if I run into trouble, then I have somebody I can call. And you can join SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad. We have a WhatsApp group. We say good morning, we share information, and if you are in need, we are there. You want that. There is another large women's group that is good, but it's more information gathering. It's not the networking, the kumbaya, which this is me, kumbaya. I want the relationships to be a little bit, more than just on the surface, okay? All right. There is Black expats in Panama. There is internations if you're in that. And there's a whole slew of groups going around and they're all doing different things. But go once or twice, connect with some people, follow up, and see if it's your vibe. If you vibe with whatever they're doing, if not, go on to the next. Get your baseline and then keep growing your network. So you don't want to get into a country, you want to get referrals for a doctor, you want to get referral, people get nails, hair, transportation, people get drivers referral, right? We who are here are very generous about sharing our information. I haven't found that to be a problem here, so that is a good thing, okay? Again, find groups that match your vibe. And then everything that we say has to do with what is your why? I talk about that all the time. For me, I have to always go back to, why are you here, Maggie? Why are you here? Is it just to go eat out, to just have fun? Some people play pickleball. I don't do that. I walk, right? Some people, I don't know if they golf here. I wouldn't know because I don't golf. Some people love to go to the beach. There's a sister here, she loves the beach. I don't love that beach that much. So my tastes are very simple. But I know if I had a problem, I could reach out to a couple of sisters and somebody's going to help me. And I need to make myself, as an introvert, reach out to those sisters and say, like one sister say, when are we going to have a dinner or lunch or whatever? Because some people do better one-on-one than in a group setting, right? Because I think you can get closer to people on a one-on-one basis versus in a meeting setting, that kind of thing. So that's why those 7 p.m. mixers or whatever on the rooftop don't appeal to me, because to me it's so superficial. But that's me, right? It's not a critique of anybody. Everybody's different. All right, sis. So what I want you to understand that building community goes beyond the meet and greet, okay? You have to follow up. You have to discover what people are like, what makes them, what excites them. You got to be curious, not just about Panama, but about the people that you are vibing with, that because you're creating new friendships, right? And friendship requires nurturing, time, watering, right? And the only way you do that is if you get together. All right. So, in conclusion, nurture the relationships at home. Give yourself time to rest and get your bearings when you get here. And then be intentional. Zero in, make a beeline. Go to different things that are happening and feel your way through until you find your vibe. Be a master networker. When you go into a place, you don't know anybody, you just extend your hand and say, hey, my name is Maggie. I've been here only about a week and I'm open to making new friends. Where do you live? Where did you come from? Do you mind sharing this and sharing that? Do you have any tips for me as a newcomer? People will tell you. And then take your time and go through those Facebook groups and read the messages, read the responses, and take notes. Build your database. You got to be intentional about it, okay? All right, so I hope this was a little bit helpful. It wasn't a heavy topic or anything like that, but I don't know that I know anybody who's had, well, I had somebody who had trouble about one thing here, but people are so open and willing to share information that I think if you don't reach out, you don't find information. But if you reach out, people will reach out to you. Whether they'll be able to go to the doctor's appointment with you, I don't know, but they really will refer you to someone. And then just call an Uber. Wherever you want to go, the Uber drivers will take you there. All right, sis? So in your quest to become an what's the word I'm looking for? An expat who is enlightened, and secure and connected, it's going to require a little bit of effort on your part. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. God loves you. I love you. Au revoir, à la prochaine. Bonne journée.